How's it going? I almost forgot. But here's your review video for Plant Test. I'm going to just go over questions. One, it's late, and I think mainly that's what's going to help you the most. As I've told a lot of people and even some classes, the review and everything is, I hope at least you will think that's a little harder than the test was. The test is. The test really, when you hear some of these questions, I think you'll kind of get it a little bit more. A lot of you have acted a little confused, and I'm not. I've heard the statement of I don't know anything about plants. Which, when you really think about what we've done, and then you hear these questions, it's all going to tie together pretty nicely, I think. So, let's get started. Which of the following structures is an opening on the underside of a leaf that's necessary for gas exchange? Okay, that's going to be the stoma, the stomata. Okay, we've talked about that many times. That's the hole on the underside of a leaf. The plant structure that transports water. What vascular tissue transports water? That's the xylem. Okay. Plant structure that transports sugar. That's the other one, the phloem. So the xylem transports water. And remember, when the xylem gets old and hardens, it actually becomes like the bark and the trunk or the stems almost. Okay. The outer single layer group of cells covering a plant. What would you call that? The outer layer of anything. Remember, just like our epidermis, same thing. It's called the epidermis. Then it goes into a few biomolecules. So if you put a bunch of these together, what would you get? Remember, that's a little sugar molecule. So one of the complex sugar molecules, if you link a bunch of them together, is a starch. Okay. Then you need to know what a nucleic acid looks like. Enzymes. You need to know about an enzyme. Do you think the first life forms on Earth were multicellular or single-celled? I'd go with single-celled. Okay. Okay, so a fruit falls off of a tree, okay? And the grass that the fruit falls into starts using that fruit basically for nutrients. Okay, kind of like fertilizer almost. What system would be delivering that nutrients for the grass? The vascular system, okay? Because remember, plants have a vascular system, xylem, phloem, running all throughout the plant, delivering nutrients, okay? Very important. Desert plants open a flower at night. What system is doing that with the flower, okay? That's going to be the reproductive system, okay? Remember, root hairs are the little hairs coming off roots. They help to bring in extra water, okay? Increase the surface area. Plants that live in hot and dry conditions produce a thick, waxy cuticle and close their stomata to prevent water loss. Which system is not directly affected by this action? Okay. Well, does that have anything to do with reproduction? No. So the reproductive system is not affected by that. Okay. Okay. A gardener removes all the pine cones from a tree. This will interfere with the function of what system? Okay. Well, pine cones are kind of like the flowers for gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are a class of trees or a class of plants that again use these pine. They're basically pine trees. So the pine cone is the reproductive structure. So if they're messing with the pine cones, what are they messing with? Reproductive structure. reproductive system. If they show you this, and it's like lungs, and they say what like tissue or what organ what organ would that be like in a plant? That'd be like the leaf. Remember how the leaf is responsible for gas exchange? Our lungs are responsible for gas exchange. Okay. Levels of organization. Remember, it goes cell, tissue, organ system. Okay, if you remember that, you'll be fine. Again, remember I told you guys in class, there's going to be some review questions. It's on your review that you got, so you need to make sure that you're ready for that. Epidermal cells and cuticle of a plant leaf have a function that is similar to which of the following human organ systems. Remember on the big ideas, I said the integumentary system was like our skin system. So that would be that one. Let's see. A trunk of a tree carries out functions that are similar to the functions performed by which pair of human body systems? We talked about this when we talked about the notes. We said the trunk of a tree or the stem of a tree is like two things. I remember specifically saying it's like the skeletal system because it gives support, but then it's also like the vascular system because in the tree or in the plant, the veins are inside of the support system. And I remember, again, I said specifically it'd be like if our bones had veins inside of them. Okay, so there you go. How does gas exchange actually happen? So like, how does gas exchange happen in our lungs? Remember, it's diffusion. Oxygen diffuses into the blood, carbon dioxide diffuses into the lungs. These are all pretty easy. There's one about like the lab, talking about celery. Okay. Remember, the stomata would be compared to our respiratory system. Okay, the stomata that allow for gas exchange. Just remember that. All right, almost done. All right, so if a plant's responding to light, what do we call that? Phototropism, okay? And then as it said on your review, there's a couple questions about cellular respiration and photosynthesis. So there's some other review questions. Remember, with excuse me. So remember, respiration gives off carbon dioxide and creates ATP, okay? And that happens in the mitochondria, a little bean-looking structure. Photosynthesis gives off oxygen, needs carbon dioxide, and that happens in the chloroplast. And remember, it's the structure. It's kind of bean-looking, but it has the little stacks. Okay, remember the stacks of grana inside. Okay, so that's a major hint. Because in other words, you have pictures. Okay. And that pretty much brings us to the end of the test. Okay. Yeah. That's it. The rest, that's pretty much it. I think you guys should be fine. Just take your time, read carefully, and you'll be good to go. I'll be in the morning in my class about 7:45 or so if anybody needs anything. So see you guys then. Have a great night.